Big Tractor fans, the spring of 2025 was an exciting year to be out in the field making videos of tractors. In this presentation, I would like to share with you my top 10 favorite finds of the season. It was a particularly good year for finding classic tractors from the 1970s, as well as some pretty rare machines from other decades. So let's head out to the field now so that I can share with you my top 10 favorite tractors of the spring. This Oliver 2255, powered by a Caterpillar V8 engine, was plowing ground in North Carolina ahead of peanut planting. It was really cool to see it set up with a front wheel assist axle and dual wheels all the way around. The Oliver 2255 was the last tractor to use the Oliver brand name, with the final 2255 rolling off the assembly line in Charles City, Iowa in February of 1976. I've had the opportunity to film almost every John Deere articulated four-wheel drive tractor model produced in the past 65 years. One of the tractors that has been harder to find is the 8430, and I was glad to find this one working on spring tillage in western Kentucky. The only two models left now on that long list of tractors that I would like to film to feature on the channel are the WA17 and the 8450. The Caterpillar Challenger 95E was the largest tractor from that brand in the late 1990s and early 2000s. During that time period, blue DMI tillage equipment was very popular. I was glad to find this 95E working in Illinois with a 50-foot wide DMI field cultivator and crumbler. They make a perfect example of what a big tillage team would have looked like working on spring tillage at the turn of the century. The Ford FW30 is one of my all-time favorite tractors. It was manufactured by Steiger, and it's powered by a Cummins V8 engine. This one was working in Illinois, and I was equally excited to see it with a 38-foot wide Ford 250 disc. This large disc was manufactured by Sunflower specifically for the Ford FW series of four-wheel drive tractors. The first tractor I ever had a chance to ride in as a kid was a Case Traction King four-wheel drive. A farm that I grew up by purchased one new in 1977, and it inspired my interest in tractors. I was glad to have the opportunity to feature the largest Traction King, the 300 horsepower 2870, on the channel this spring working on tillage in Wisconsin. The big tractor from the Agco Corporation in the mid-1990s and early 2000s was the AgcoStar 8425. I have been looking to film one of these for the past 15 years for the channel, and I was glad to have the opportunity to locate one in Wisconsin working on spring tillage. The McConnell-Marc articulated four-wheel drive line was manufactured from the early to the mid-1990s. It evolved from the Massey Ferguson 4000 series of four-wheel drives that were introduced in 1978. In 1989, Ward McConnell began manufacturing a Model 5200 for Massey Ferguson. In 1991, he decided to begin selling the tractor independent of Massey Ferguson and introduced his line of tractors, which were named after his son, Marc McConnell. It is unknown how many McConnell-Marc four-wheel drive tractors were produced, but it's believed that there were less than 160. There was a Model 1000, a 990, and 900. I had the opportunity to video this Model 990 working with a 12-bottom John Deere moldboard plow in North Carolina, preparing the ground for peanut planting. John Deere introduced its rubber track tractor line in 1997. Over the past few years, I've been working on filming each generation of track tractor from the brand that has been produced in the past quarter century. One of the rarest tractors in that track segment is the Model 9320T. I was glad to find this one working on spring tillage in Illinois. The 9320T was the entry-level model in the 20 series high horsepower track machines that range from 375 to 500 horsepower. Most farmers were looking for tractors from 425 to 500 horsepower during that time period, and the 9320T ended up being the last high horsepower rubber track model offered below 400 horsepower. The International 4568 articulated four-wheel drive tractor is a very cool classic machine in my book, as it's powered by an International V8 engine. There were only 859 of them produced between 1975 and 1976, and finding them with an original intact V8 engine today is difficult, as the majority of them have been repowered with Cummins six-cylinder engines. When I found out about this model working on spring tillage in Indiana, I made an 8-hour round trip just so I could feature it here on the channel. One of my goals for the channel is to cover tractor brands and all the different models that they have produced. In 2001, Agco acquired the Challenger brand from Caterpillar and expanded its line beyond just rubber track machines and began offering wheeled tractors in 2002. One of the first wheeled tractors from Challenger was the MT600 series, which were painted yellow using existing products that were sold through the Agco tractor brand and Massey Ferguson brand. The MT665 was the top-end MT600, and I was glad to find this tractor planting corn with a color-matching Landoll 4400 planter. The farmer was very nice to actually let me operate this machine, and it was the first time that I've ever had the chance to plant corn. The Challenger MT600 series was launched in 2002 and offered through 2019. The original models did not have a letter, and then as they were upgraded, there was a B, C, D, and E model. I have been looking for that first generation for many years since I started Big Tractor Power as a website in 2001. I finally located one just to take a picture of it at Seavers Equipment, a Case IH dealer in Illinois, in 2019. I have used that picture for the past 6 years, posting it on my social media accounts, asking if anyone farms with a first-generation MT600 so that I could film it and share its history, and I finally located one in western Kentucky this spring to film. Surprisingly, the one that I had the chance to actually run myself with the Landoll corn planter is the very same tractor that I saw back in 2019 at Seavers Equipment, and that is why it is my number one pick for the spring of 2025. I hope that you've enjoyed spending some time out in the field with these tractors. I would like to hear in the comment section below this video what your favorite one was, or tell me about a tractor that you hope to see featured on the channel in the future. If you have appreciated this presentation, I hope that you'll consider subscribing to Big Tractor Power YouTube, where there's over 3,000 videos of farm machines in action. As always, thank you for watching.